Yeah!
Ooh, yeah, I think it's about that time. Hello and welcome to the first episode of The Road to the USUCC. I am J-Rat, your host, and today we're going to be going over what has gone on for the first 8 weeks of the Ultimate Smash Ultimate CPU Championship, the USUCC. Give you a little breakdown of what each group is looking like, who's on top, who's in the bottom, who's still fighting for a playoff spot, and look at what's upcoming in some matchups this week and the weeks that are still remaining. For those who don't know, the USUCC is a tournament that I created and have been running for a couple months now, where I took all 86 selectable fighters in Smash Ultimate, and I broke them down into 8 groups, 6 groups with 11 fighters, and 2 groups with 10. Everyone plays every other member of the group once, with the top 6 in each group moving on to the playoff portion. It's a double elimination playoff. That'll start in a few weeks. The top 4 in each group start in the regular double elimination tournament. Seeds 5 and 6 in each group will start in the loser's bracket, and they'll only get 1 loss. So we'll break down each group upcoming. You'll be able to see the standings in each group, as well as how well they've performed by stock differentials, since everything is a 4-stock match here. I'll also be showing highlights of their most recent matchups here in Week 8, and I'll be talking over what the standings look like, what the upcoming matches are, and how things look like they'll be shaping up. So without further ado, let's jump right into the standings. We start off with King K. Rool in Group A as the leader. Won his matchup against Duck Hunt for his 6th straight win. Started 0-2 and has rattled off 6 straight. Hasn't had a bye yet. That comes in Week 10. That's why he's got 1 game more than most of the other competitors. Villager, Donkey Kong, Piranha Plant, and Falco all rounding out the 5-win group in 2 through 5. That'll be competitive to see who can stay in the top 4. Min Min, Meta Knight, and Sephiroth, the real competitors for the 6th and final playoff spot. Min Min losing to Villager, as you can see here this week. The rest of the matchups in group play feature a lot of really good playoff implication battles. This upcoming week, we have K. Rool and Piranha Plant. That's the 1 versus the 4, as well as Falco and Meta Knight, the 5 and 7. Meta Knight going to try to stay with Min Min there, and Falco try to keep that arm's distance between the last playoff spot and himself. Also, Donkey Kong and Min Min this week. Again, 2 competitors in the top 6. Min Min trying to hold on to that last spot, and Donkey Kong trying to stay up top. He was leading the group for a long time, trying to keep that alive here. Moving even further beyond into round 10, we've got Villager and Piranha Plant going at it. And in week 11, K. Rool and Villager, the top 2, will go face-to-face in the final week, in the final matchup, no less. If anyone could make a late push here, I could see it being Sephiroth, despite his recent struggles. At 3 and 5, he's 2 spots out of the playoffs, but he has some matchups upcoming that may give him a chance to get back into it, with Mewtwo being one of them and Falco being the other. We now move on to Group B, where Hero is leading this group right now at 5 and 2. It's a very compact group, though. Everybody with at least 2 wins and at least 2 losses. You can see Ness, Peach, Ice Climber, Zero Suit, and Toon Link rounding off the playoff spots. And all of them have 3 losses, so there's really a lot of wiggle room in there for some different seeding arrangements. And Mario and Joker, and even Lucario, not terribly far out of the playoffs, just a game or a game and a half out due to buys. Upcoming matchups in this group are going to be vital. Mario and Toon Link face off this week, as well as Joker and Ness, so both of them have a chance to hop up and put pressure on that top group of playoff contenders. Even the bottom competitors of the group, Ken may not have had a great week this last week, but Chrom stole a win from Peach, as we'll see in these highlights. It's the last match of the highlight package. Stole a win from Peach, who's been a perennially really good competitor, but has started to fall off late here. Even he's got a shot upcoming at these playoffs, only 2 games out right now. With other matches upcoming like Toon Link and Joker, Toon Link and Zero Suit Samus, Chrom and the Ice Climbers, Peach Lucario, Peach Ice Climbers, things like that. Those will become very important for tiebreaker's sake with so many competitors so closely contested in this group. Just want to point to the highlight package right here. Crom, look at this, evens up this match against Peach, but he's sitting at 116. Should be an easy win for the princess. However, does a good job of kind of staving her off a little bit, takes most of the healing here. All of a sudden, this match is a little closer, gets knocked off stage. Peach, just leave him alone, he can't get back. She doesn't, and Crom makes her pay. Next, we move on to Group C, where Bowser leading the group single-handedly at 6-1, 12 stocks to the good in those 6 wins. Palutena with sole possession of second place at 5-2, and then we've got a bunch of competitors at 4-3, rounding out the rest of the playoff hunt. That'll be a really good competitive finish to the season to see who gets in the winner's bracket, who has to end up in the loser's bracket, and who maybe won't make it. Fox, Luigi, and Ryu all still within about a game or a game and a half of a playoff spot. Luigi and Wolf having a match here to determine who would still have a real shot at the playoffs. Both came into that matchup at 2-4, and Luigi wins that match, gets back on the winning ways after losing 3 in a row. Wolf, of course, being an idiot to lose to that final Smash Ball. Well, looking at some of the upcoming matchups we have in the group, Bowser and Palutena are going to face off in the final week. Just seems to keep happening that the top 2 in each group are facing off in the final week. We've also got in week 10, Pit and Luigi. Those are 4th and 8th, except they're 1 match apart, so anything goes there. Link and Bowser are facing off in week 10 as well. That's going to be a really good one between 2 top 3 competitors in this group. Palutena and Fox, as well as Byleth and Pit next week, are both going to be important matchups for playoff seeding as well. Sheik, unfortunately, at 1-7, one of the worst competitors in the entire competition, negative 13 stocks, had a chance early against Diddy Kong, took the first stock, but as you can see, still lost in the end. All right, now let's take a look at Group D. Been one of my favorite groups in the competition because of just how wild this one has been. The main culprit for that being Isabelle, who is now 8-0 after 3 stocking Young Link, stays undefeated, and is now locked up not only a playoff spot, not only a top 4 spot, but is the top seed in the group. Can't be caught. Has the tiebreaker on everybody in the top half of the group anyway, so she will be the number 1 seed coming out of this group. Olimar is the 2nd seed after Kazuya dropped another match this last week. Kazuya, Dr. Mario, Ganondorf, and Mr. Game & Watch rounding out the playoff teams here. Not a lot of parity necessarily in this group. Mega Man's the only one with a really good shot at moving up. Young Link and Inkling are kind of close, but Mega Man feels like the only competitor with a real shot to upset the playoff order we already have. If we take a look at some of the upcoming matchups, not a ton of matchups that feature 2 playoff-bound competitors to this point still to come. For Isabelle, she's got Mega Man and Ganondorf left. She also has a bye week available, so she's only has those 2 matchups to stay undefeated for the entire group play. We'll see if she can do it. Ganondorf and Young Link could be an important matchup this week. We'll determine whether or not Young Link has a chance to stay in the playoffs. Mr. Game & Watch and Dr. Mario this week as well will be very good. 2 4-3 competitors looking to see who can solidify themselves in the playoff race, as well as maybe give themselves a shot at that top 4. Week 10 is going to feature Olimar and Mr. Game & Watch. That's a pretty good matchup. Number 2 versus number 6. If Game & Watch wins, especially this week, who knows? That could have a lot of implications for top seeds. All in all, still plenty to play for in Group D. Now taking a look at Group E. Group E's been a very fun group. The Magnificent 7 have been featured here. That's been the top 7 competitors in this group, all looking to vie for those 6 playoff spots. Sora leads that group at 6-2, and has a pretty easy schedule to finish out the season with a match against Pichu and Bowser Jr. Still remaining. So likely will be the winner of this group. Richter, Dark Pit, and Captain Falcon all sitting at 5-2 in those remaining 3 winners bracket playoff spots. Banjo-Kazooie, Corrin, and Bowser Jr. round out that Magnificent 7. Corrin does have the tiebreaker over Bowser Jr. That looks like it could be important heading to the end here. Corrin's got a tough road coming, though. Has Steve this week, probably her easiest matchup, but then Dark Pit and Banjo-Kazooie to round out the season, whereas Bowser Jr., while he does have to face Richter, also gets to face Pichu and Sora. So at least has one matchup in there that feels like I don't want to say guaranteed win, but close. Mii Brawlers, the other competitor that still probably has at least a sniff at the playoffs, though is a full game and a half out, would probably have to win their next 2 matchups to have a chance. Those 2 matchups are against Dark Pit and Banjo and Kazooie. A lot of intrigue in this group, especially with someone like Banjo-Kazooie being as good as they've been. A +8 stock differential, however, still in 5th place in this group due to the 3 losses. Really anything goes, and earning a top 4 playoff spot could be vital in this group. Finally, I'd be remiss in my duties if I did not mention that Daisy is 0-7, the only competitor left to still have not won a match. Daisy has 3 matches left. She has Pichu, Richter, and Steve still left, so still a couple opportunities in there, but God, hopefully she figures it out. All right, we move on to Group F, the last of our groups with 11 competitors in it. We see a pretty strong top of the group here. Zelda, Mii Swordfighter, and Little Mac all with 6 wins. Zelda and Swordfighter at 6-1, Little Mac at 6-2. Those 3 definitely have the driver's seat when it comes to getting into the winner's bracket portion of the playoffs early. Rob, Ridley, and Pokemon Trainer round out the current playoff spots. Pac-Man and Simon both extremely still in the hunt. Trainer, Pac-Man, and Simon you can see all at 3 and 4. Pokemon Trainer is going to have a tough road ahead to hold that spot. They have Yoshi this week, which is a godsend, really. Yoshi totally out of the playoff hunt at this point. Then they have to go up against Simon, who's obviously vying for that same playoff spot, and then Mii Swordfighter is going to make that extremely difficult for them as well. Pac-Man, on the other hand, gets Jigglypuff, but also gets Zelda and Ridley to end out their playoff run. Unfortunately, no Zelda and Mii Swordfighter matchup upcoming. However, we do get Mii Swordfighter and Pokemon Trainer, like I said. We also get Mii Swordfighter and Simon. So Swordfighter is going to do a lot of work in determining who is going to be the final playoff competitors in this group. Shulk and Yoshi basically out of this one. Jigglypuff as well. Although Jigglypuff's been one of the most fun competitors. I know it's Jigglypuff and Rest is the only power move they have, but they've been the most fun to watch. It's going to be a shame to no longer see their wild Rests showing up in my highlight packages moving forward. Also, let's just give some respect to Little Mac at 6-2. Widely considered a bad character in this game, but has really looked good in a competition like this. I guess the AI is just a little better than you might think. Now we're into Group G, the first of our 10 competitor groups. And currently, King DDD leading this group, one of our only other 2 undefeateds in the competition right now. It's 6-0. Incineroar, Cloud, Mii Gunner, and Wario all sitting at 5-2 or 4-2. After that, and then Roy sitting at 3-3. Now, DDD's got a not terribly difficult schedule to remain undefeated here. He's got Wario this week, and he follows that up with Dark Samus, you can see he's at 1-5, and finishes out with Wii Fit Trainer at 2-5. So, pretty good road for DDD. Looks like he'll take that top seed. This upcoming week, Incineroar and Cloud go head-to-head. That should be a really, really good matchup with high seeding implications in that matchup. If we look at some of the other important matchups upcoming, Cloud and Roy in Week 10 will be important. Really, every matchup that Roy is involved in is going to be important, at least for these first couple weeks, to see if he can maintain that 6th spot. He is kind of the bridge between those in the playoffs and those who are not. It feels like he'll get in. He's still got a game and a half lead on Lucas, but you never quite know. Other good matchups, Cloud and Wario in week 11 will be very good. That's a 3 and a 5. Those two are both at 4 and 2 right now. Taking a look at some of the other competitors in the group, Lucas and Wii Fit Trainer maybe still have a shot to get in this one. But they're going to have to basically win out. They both have 2 more matchups remaining. We need to win those to get to 4 and 5 and even have a chance. Dark Samus got their first win this week. Good for them. But that's about the end of the line for them. And Bayonetta sitting at 1 and 6. I think we all know how that's going to end. Especially since everyone in this group gets only 9 matchups, so that's about as far as she's going to get. And finally, to round it all off, we have Group H. Pikachu and Pyramithra sitting at the top of this group at 5 and 1 respectively. Those two face each other this upcoming week in round 9, so that will give one of them a great shot at winning this group, or at least put them in the driver's seat for that. Robin and Ike at 4 and 2 round out our top 4. Kirby and Samus holding down 5th and 6th spots. Kirby, 4 straight wins now, as you just saw in the highlight package. After going 0-3 to start, he has made a feverish push and has got to be considered someone you do not want to face late here. Sonic, Greninja, and Terry still got a shot. Sonic especially at 2 and 4. He's got 3 more matchups to go. Greninja and Terry, 4 and 5 is the best they can do, but with Samus sitting at 3 and 4, there's always hope. Some upcoming matchups that are exciting. Like I said, Pikachu and Pyramithra is this week. Also, really any matchup with either Samus or Sonic is going to be an important one. Sonic has Robin this week, followed by Pikachu, and then Ike, while Samus is going to be looking at a bye this upcoming week. And then Kirby, which is a really important matchup, and Robin after that. Rosalina basically out of the group. Don't have to pay attention to that one too much. Other matchups that look like they'll be very good feature Ike and Pyramithra. That's going to be in week 10. That one has a lot of high seed playoff implications. But that will conclude our look at the standings in each group, how everybody's shaping out, and what kind of matchups we're looking forward to in the coming weeks. If you want to catch up on some of these matches yourself, I have every full VOD of the tournament to this point posted on the channel. They're all in a playlist. Each of the match days is like 3.5 hours, so I understand if you don't want to watch all of them at once. But I do have them all bookmarked with individual matches, so you can find your favorite competitor and watch them compete. For even more ways to track the tournament, if you want to go to challenge.com/JRatUltimate, you can see the live results as I post them or as they happen. You may see things a little farther ahead than what I've posted because we've already maybe recorded one of the weeks, but I will start doing some streaming of some of these upcoming so that everything will be visible live, which you can find at JRat Gaming as well.